One, everybody's on. Good evening, everyone. Is there anyone who wishes to engage in public participation? Hearing and seeing none. Lynn?
So we have a very,
screen is up. Yep.
yes, we have a very quick housekeeping thing to do on the public safety building, and that is to approve the October 12th, 2023 meeting and then turn it over to Phil.
Okay. Do I hear a
So I
motion?
move, yes, I move that we approve the October 12th, 2023 PBC meeting minutes as written.
I will second approval as written.
Any discussion? Any comments? Hearing none, are there any objections to approving the meeting minutes of October 12th, 2023? Hearing none, they are approved. Just to let everyone know, we, as you all know from the October 12th meeting, we did have some money left over at the end, and Phil, Chip, and myself met with the DPW, went over some of the items that we need to be done that were just not on the project list at the time, that everyone feels should be done. And I'll hand this over to Phil to just quickly go over what those are. Not everything is finalized yet, but just pretty close to being finalized, I believe. Phil?
Yeah, so thanks. So June 20th, we did a walkthrough, police department, town members and PBC members. So there was some painting in the rear stairwell doors. DPW is going to take care of that. Front stairs in the third floor, men's locker room. DPW is taking care of a number of painting items out of the DPW budget. Plumbing, there was a heat pump request for the 911 room and the radio room to have a backup heat pump or use as a primary. So that was approved as one of the things we're going to for about $21,500 to use the remaining funds for. Installing a bottle filler on the third floor was one of the asks during the project. We couldn't approve because of the contingency spending. So that is something that we kept it on the wish list. The DPW will take care of that. Ductwork cleaning was a thing that came up at the end of the project when everything got turned on. We approved a third floor, basically broke it up, and we're going to have the third floor cleaning of all the ductwork. And this is the existing, not the new, but everything ties in. So all the existing ductwork will be cleaned. And I think Chris Pierce emailed tonight that could be scheduled pretty soon, I think. So that was about $15,000. Interior, not much. There was a request for furniture, but we were requesting that the police try to find money in their operating budget for that. Exterior, there was some water, drainage issues with some of the mulch. The DPW took care of correcting where some outflows are, putting some stone down. There was some fire department requests that weren't approved, having to do with stripping, waxing floors, painting hallways and bunk rooms and bunk room flooring. So suggestion for some of that was to try to submit it through a capital request next year. Replacing the main garage door. It was not part of the renovation project, but the main door has been very problematic for the town. So we approved a replacement of that for about $8,000. And then the boiler room, there's some work being coordinated in that room with the DPW. So all in all, there was some boiler room work for about $13,000. VAV controls, which were carryover from the project, of about $41,000. And then the garage door for $8,000, 2 heat pumps for the radio room and the 911 room for about $21,000, duct work for about $15,000, which is about $99,000. And then the remaining funds are going to be used to upgrade, to help upgrade the community room in that building for IT Zoom capabilities. So that would be good for us because it's a big group. We're a big group here. That might give the town an ability for a group to meet in person and have that Zoom capability at the same time. So I know people have been asking about that. So I think that was a big, if we could get that done. So those were the decisions, and that was sent out to everyone last week. So thanks, everyone.
Are there any questions, comments?
Yeah, Joe, the only thing I would add on is as those bills come in, this group will need to approve the bills.
Right.
So that's how you'll know
Right.
the work has been completed.
Okay, anything else? All right, Lynn, let's go to the high school.
Okay. First up, we'll have our typical, administrative actions, approval of the October 12th meeting minutes, review and approval of monthly invoices, a quick budget update, then we'll run through the proprietary items that we would like approval from the PBC on and review a quick schedule update.
So I'll start by making a motion to approve the October 12th, 2023 Permanent Building Committee, School Building Committee meeting minutes.
I will second that motion.
There any questions, comments, discussion? Hearing none, are there any objections to approving the October 12th, 2023 Permanent Building Committee, School Building Committee meeting minutes? Hearing none, they're approved.
Next up are the invoices for October.
I move that we approve OPM Construction for Left Field invoice number 28 for the sum of $133,159.
I will second that motion.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Jason,
Yes.
Wayne,
Yes.
Chip,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Phil,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Aaron,
Yes.
unanimous.
I move that we approve SMMA invoice 0060217 for the sum of $1,069,101, along with SMMA ADS Environmental 0060217 for the sum of $3,850, along with SMMA Culvert Extension Work 0060218 for the sum of $5,252, and SMMA ADS Culvert Extension 0060218 for a sum of $10,285, for a total of $1,088,488.
And I will second that motion.
Any discussion?
Can I just note, it does appear that the balance remaining under the culvert extension line is certainly not $6 million.
Yeah, we're not giving you that. I'll tell you that. for now.
Sorry, that just really jumped out. So just making note. It's a much smaller ad.
That's because we added an amendment to the construction documents amendment, and that's why it's drawing down on the construction documents budget line. So technically, it really is that remaining balance because this work was an amendment to the construction documents budget line. And I've been meaning to tell you this, that technically you don't need to have a second invoice for this work, because it has been amended to your contract. And the
It
same,
would just get
Same-
added to that
It-
first line.
right, and the same goes for this geotechnical, geo-environmental line. That work was added to the geotechnical and geo-environmental budget line.
Okay. That'll make it simpler for Chip and to read.
Absolutely, and I need that, trust me.
Yes, we
Yeah, how is it
Oh.
tracked if we're not invoicing it separately? Because it was an add-on to the project. It would be nice to be able, are we able to track that if anyone ever asks how much money is being spent on the culvert extension, so we can have that number easily?
Yes, I mean, that's how they break it down. So we do have it separately, but we don't have a budget line because we're following MSBA's budget lines. So we don't have a separate budget line that says culvert extension. So I have to amend another budget line for that work.
Got it. Okay.
Any further discussion or questions? Hearing
I
none.
move, I move that we approve bond building pre-construction.
Oh, wait a minute.
service.
We
Chip,
haven't
you gotta
voted yet,
vote.
Chip.
We gotta
Didn't
vote
we?
on this.
Oh, okay, sorry, thought we had.
That's all right. I can cut it out. We don't have to pay him. That's fine. Jason,
You
Yes,
just sent Helen to
Wayne?
take a vote.
Yes, yes,
Chip. I think we lost him.
Yes,
Mark,
Yes.
Phil,
Yes,
me,
Tom?
Yes.
I'm here.
Chip? Yes or no?
Yes,
All right. John,
Yes.
Aaron,
Yes.
it's unanimous.
can you not hear me?
Yeah, I got you now. We can
Okay.
respond.
I move that we pay bond building pre-construction services invoice 122-043-008 for the sum of $28,333.33, along with bond building CXC Consulting PC Amendment 2 Road Consultant invoice 122-043-008 for the sum of $6,136.67 for a total of $34,470.
Any discussion?
I second. Any discussion?
Thank you. Sorry, Jason.
It's okay.
Any discussion or questions, comments? Hearing none. Jason,
Yes,
Wayne,
yes,
Chip,
Yes,
Mark,
Yes.
Phil,
yes,
Tom,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Aaron,
Yes.
unanimous.
Quick budget update. As of October 31st, 2023, we've committed 12% of the budget, expended 4%. We're at about 75% complete with the 60% CD documents in terms of expenditure. And we will be submitting at the end of the month to MSBA. In terms of cash flow, for quite some time, we were tracking below our original projection. Right now, we're starting to slightly track above it, so we're beginning to align with where we thought we would be in terms of the projected expenditures. I believe you all are aware of this, but MSBA voted in 9 projects that received their project scope and budget approval after October 1st, 2023, and before October 1st, 2022, and before October 1st, 2023. And they voted to give them a supplemental grant, increasing their eligibility from $393 a square foot, $516 a square foot, and increasing the site cap from $39 a square foot to $52 a square foot. That represented about 14 million something in additional grant money for this project. I think we talked about this last month, but I wanted to make sure, since this occurred, it was finally approved at the October 25th MSBA board meeting.
All right, thanks, Lynn. Any questions regarding that? Comments? Nope. Okay.
So we have listed here several, I think there's 4 proprietary items that has come through in terms of what we think is in the best interest of the school. Typically, most of them have to do with either safety or security throughout the school, or standardization amongst all the school districts. So we have to get approval by the awarding authority, which will be town council. However, we need to get a recommendation to approve from the PBC so that we can go into the town council meeting with the recommendation in hand from the PBC that you agree that these items should be proprietary. We did send this out to you. I don't know if you had a chance to look at them, But under the building security category, we had the security camera system, Ventec Omnicast, and the access control system, Gentech Synergis, and several others, card readers, HID Signo readers, card reader interface module, Mercury Security M52 interface module, card reader controller, HID Mercury Security LP1502 intelligent controller, alarm control panel, the digital monitoring products XR550 control panel. Those were,
Lynn,
yes.
could you just take a second for those that might not know what a proprietary item is and explain the difference in how these work versus the normal bidding process?
Yes. So a
you.
proprietary item means that you're not going out for open bidding, meaning any manufacturer or product that meets the spec could be used or for the contractor's bid. A proprietary item means that they have to choose this product in their bid. Sometimes it results in higher bidding because there is no competition. However, typically the reason they are proprietary items is because it offers more security or safety or standardization for the school or town. And that is why we end up choosing these proprietary items.
Thanks.
A quick question from Wayne here.
Yes.
Go ahead, Wayne.
Did the facilities department have any input on proprietary items?
Yes, we met with everybody in the town on these, and this is the list that it came down, the items it came down to in terms of what all the town departments as well as the school departments determined was the things that they absolutely needed to be proprietary.
And do you think any of these could be challenged when they go off a bid?
No, they cannot be challenged.
They cannot be challenged.
Because that's why we're going through this process. And we have to record this vote, plus we have to record the vote of the town council. It has to be recorded at town hall so that if anybody challenges it, they'll know that these votes and the reasoning for the votes were made well in advance of the bid process.
Okay.
Any other questions? You want to keep going, Lynn, on the rest of the proprietary items?
So the next category of items is the horizontal sliding accordion folding fire barrier. It's wand door fire guard system. And this is a specialized system. There's not very many manufacturers that make this type of door anyway. But this one definitely is a proven product. And it provides the fire safety that we need and fire separation that we need within the school.
Okay, next.
And then we have the insulated glazing units with integral solar control grids. This is the Okalux Okawood insulated glass with a wooden grid. And this is the product that's being used at the media center. I believe that's the only location it is, correct, Helen?
Yeah, that's correct.
And this is a specialized product that will provide the solar shading that we need to control the environment of the media center.
Okay, next one.
And then we have door hardware, and these are the lock cylinders, and this is a standard for the town of Wakefield.
And just so everybody knows, this is not the whole handle. This is just, I mean, it will be the handle, but it's really just the cylinder. It ends up being a Schlage handle because that's what cylinders go into. But it's just that type of cylinder that's necessary to be proprietary.
Just
And
another
that's
quick question on door hardware. When I worked in North Reading, we went through a lot of input as far as having all the classroom doors being capable of being locked from the inside. Are we going to do that here? So the teacher can
Ellen?
lock the door without having a key.
Yeah.
Ellen, can you answer that?
I am going to say yes, that is how we are proceeding, and I know Brian is on the call, and maybe he can double check me on that.
Yep, this is Tim.
Or Tim.
Wayne. We
Right.
had extensive conversations between myself, Amy McLeod, and the design team on this, and went through those steps, very in depth. So
Yeah,
we
matter
have
of
had
fact-
a lot of input there.
Matter of fact, Tim, I think that was mentioned this morning when we were talking with the police.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you think that'll be included in all the schools at some point? Tim?
Those
We're only doing one at a time here,
Well,
Wayne.
I understand that, but the security being what it is, we went through that in North Reading, we did all the schools. It cost us a lot of money, but we had to do it. Not just one school, but all the schools.
Wayne, we have a crisis team, and we review security constantly. I can have a chat with you offline about how we're reviewing security and increasing it in all schools.
Yep. All right, thanks.
You got it.
Thank you, Tim.
All right, Lynn, are there other?
That's it.
That's
And,
it.
Are there any other
unless-
questions regarding the proprietary?
So this is John. I just
Okay.
wondering, is this a normal that, these projects have these propriety items? Is that kind of standard?
It's pretty standard in terms of all the projects that I've worked on. Hardware is a big one. Cameras are a big one. Most of the things you see on here are pretty standard to be proprietary.
Got it. Thanks.
Actually, I think this is kind of a small list, actually.
It is a very small list.
Oh.
Just another quick one. I got a lot of them. Energy management. Is there any proprietary items on this list for energy management?
We talked about that and we decided that we would leave it open. And that because you can use a lot of backnet systems in order to communicate with existing BMS systems in the town and in the school. But we did talk about that, and we did feel that based on some past performance of some of the BMS systems and the controls, that we thought that if we could design it around a Johnson control system, which has a higher standard, that and leave it for open competition, that we might end up with a better product overall.
Okay.
Any other questions, comments? Chip, you want to have a motion here?
Yeah, I think before I make the motion, though, I'd also just add, because Wayne's been involved with it, others may not have been. There'll still be a spec, and the spec will say a Johnson control or whatever, but it could say or equal. So at the
Yes,
point
it
of
will be
picking
open.
it, the point of picking, we need to make sure that they do talk and all that stuff, but it opens up the opportunity for others to enter into the world. So with that said, I move to vote to approve the proposed proprietary items for the Wakefield Memorial High School construction and to submit this to the town council for approval.
And I will second that.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. Jason,
Yes.
Wayne,
Yes.
Chip,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Phil,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
John.
Yes.
Aaron,
Yes.
it's unanimous.
Okay, thank you. And just upcoming meetings and a couple of past meetings, we had the Accessibility Commission meeting on October 30th. Conservation Commission hearing 4, in which we are continued on November 8th. tonight's PBC meeting. We're also asking for another PBC meeting on November 30th to approve the submission of the 60% CD submission to MSBA. We'll be getting the draft of that submission out to everybody in advance of the November 30th meeting. So that you have time to look at it before we ask you to vote to approve it. And then we are looking for a meeting on December 12th, and that will be, it says field subtrades, but it's file subtrades pre-qualification. We're working on the RFQ for file subtrade qualifications right now, and hope to get those out right after Thanksgiving. And then we're looking to be on the December 13th zoning board of appeals hearing.
All right, Jonathan Chines has raised his hand. Jonathan?
Just a question on the 12th. That is a Tuesday. Is that the correct date?
Here we go again. It's really I think it's the 14th,
14th.
right, Tim? I think we mention this
That's
every
correct.
time. It never gets changed. So, sorry about that.
No problem. Thanks, Lynn.
So everyone, please note that in 2 weeks on the 30th, we'll have a meeting to approve that submission of the 60% CD that's being submitted to the MSBA.
When are we gonna see, when are we gonna have those to look at?
We're hoping to get them to you. Well, go ahead,
I
Helen.
think we're looking at that Monday, the 27th.
So we'll have 3 days to take a three days to take a look at it.
The actual binder piece of that will be small in comparison to some of the previous submissions. But the documents and the specs will be quite large.
All right, any other questions? All right, Lynn?
Yeah,
That's
one
it.
thing I just do
Yep.
want to say is that we're tracking right on budget. We're not needing to implement any value engineering items, although we do have a list in case we need it as we move to the next phase. But we're still tracking to budget.
Yeah, this is one that you kind of finally explained to me too, Lynn, last time, is that even though we don't need VA, any value engineer VE at this point, the MSBA requires that there is a list kept and created. So right now, we've just let SMMA and Left Field develop the list because it's not needed to come into budget. So this is a requirement that the MSBA has. Did I explain that right, Lynn?
Yes.
You've only explained it to me about a dozen times.
All right, is there anything else, Lynn? Anyone else have any questions, comments, or discussion for tonight?
Quick question.
Yes,
This might be for SMMA. And I may be off topic or maybe on topic, but on November 9th, there was an article in the item. Article 7, this is what it said, in the warrant for the town meeting is to change Wakefield general bylaws from the stretch energy code to the specialized energy code. Is anybody aware of that? And could it happen?
Yes, we've been made aware of that. Actually, Dave Polson from WMGLD has made us aware of it. And in fact, the design of the project pretty much meets that code, even though it won't go into effect as we understand it until after the project is permitted. And Lynn had asked us a while back to examine the differences if we were to want to try to move towards the code that the town is adopting. However, we're pretty much on track with it, with the design of the building is all electric in any case. So I do want to get something in writing from our sustainability director on this, because I do want to put this issue to rest, but yes, that's a very long answer to your short question, Wayne, but yes, we were made aware of the upcoming change.
So the next sentence in the item was the requirements will be stricter and more costly. I guess being a taxpayer in town, familiar with cost overruns and
Mhm.
just want to be aware that the town is aware that there could be some cost increases, but you're saying there wouldn't be.
Well, no, again, our project will be permitted under the existing stretch code. Because we don't, again, we understand that the new code would not go into effect until June of next year. But even still, as good, a good aware design team and project management team, we do want to understand that that's the direction the town wants to move. And we feel that the current design pretty much does meet the opt-in specialized code as designed. So no
Yes,
additional
and-
cost.
Right, that's the point I wanted to make.
All right,
Okay,
thanks, Ryan. Anyone else have any questions or comments? I just have one. Everybody should have a happy Thanksgiving.
You
Happy
too, Joe.
Thanksgiving.
thank you,
Thank
Joe.
you.
All right,
Yeah.
watch out for the turkeys.
Everyone.
We're all over our yard.
I was gonna say, I have to in my neighborhood.
Right. Well, up in our neighborhood, Chip, they're always attacking us. So what are we gonna do? So,
Everybody, happy Thanksgiving. Thank
all
you
right,
all.
take
You
care,
too.
everybody. And
Thank
we'll
you.
see you in 2 weeks.
Bye,
All right.
folks.